Welcome to episode 4 of Building House Start to Finish, sponsored by Skillshare. This week we battled weather, dogs, and even our own children to keep this project moving. And this is Friday filming here, going down the road. It started pouring rain just before I get to the job, so I made a U-turn, headed to Jason's house, which is near the job. We decided to be productive and get some bookwork done, figure some materials, and that was great for about 5 minutes, and then it all fell apart.
What is with this dog? He doesn't want to go outside. Get a puppy, they said. It'll be great, they say. Whatever.
He's not going to kill you. He's not going to do that. You're a good dog.
Dude.
Giving trouble with your kids there, bro?
I'd love to go to work. Can we go to the job site instead?
And the moral of the story is Jason is a great housewife, and actually, no, seriously, he's a great dad, and I needed to get him out of the house and do some manual labor. I had the perfect job. Back at the job, we had to compact the gravel. Gravel, when it comes out of the dump truck, is near 98% compacted. But that's not 100%. We used this manual tamper to get it compacted to the full compaction we needed.
This is what it looks like in regular speed. Sucky.
You're going so slow.
On larger jobs, we would use a motorized compactor like a whacker packer to do this faster and easier, but on this job, it's so small it wasn't worth even going to rent the thing and return it. We would each go about 20 seconds, and that's all you could take with your shoulders, and then switch off.
All right, so I've been doing construction with my dad a long time before did any myself. We used to do this thing called walking it in. It was more like jogging. We didn't even have one of those things, so what we would do is run across the whole foundation like this. And that does about the same thing, but it's actually even more tiring. But we would tamp in the gravel like this all day long. Let me say this, I wouldn't recommend jogging your gravel in like that, but we did a lot of crazy things like actually digging footings by hand. We did that a lot. My dad was like, let's not run any machinery, it's a good workout. So we did a lot of crazy stuff that was a good workout.
Definitely one way to do it.
Next, in preparation for the slab, we laid out our 6 mil vapor barrier. 6 mil means 6/1000ths of an inch, not 6 millimeters. That would be way thicker. And we had to get this overlapping by a couple feet before laying the steel on it. The steel is to reinforce the concrete slab. I do want to point out that we don't have any thickened areas in the slab for load-bearing points because of the trusses that are going to span wall to wall on this structure. In many cases, we have to do specialized load-bearing points. All right, let's take a quick break to thank our sponsor for today's video, Skillshare. And if you don't know what Skillshare is, it's an online learning community where millions of people come together to take the next steps in their creative journey. Skillshare offers thousands of classes for entrepreneurs and lifelong learners like me, ranging anywhere from art to music to marketing and graphic design. So right now I'm learning how to use my iPhone to take professional looking photos with Dale McManus. I thought I knew everything there was to know about using an iPhone for videography and photography, but now I've learned so much more, and keep a lookout for better thumbnails coming on my YouTube channel because of this. I want to mention that Skillshare is curated with learning in mind, so there are no ads, and they are also always launching new creative classes. Also, Skillshare is extremely affordable, less than $10 a month with an annual membership. And the first 1,000 of my subscribers that click the link in the description will get a free 2-month trial of premium subscription so you can explore your own creativity. And once again, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and helping us bring you better content. All right, back to the action here, cutting steel and putting it in for the slab on this foundation. We tied all of this steel on a 2-foot grid with these little ties and our whirligigs, as I like to call them, so that it'd be nice and uniform. So if you can't tell, it's really hot today, and that's one of the things you'll have to deal with if you're going to get into construction and doing the actual work yourself, is just being really hot when it's hot and being really cold when it's cold. So a lot of people think they want to do construction till the first time they get really hot and then that's it. So word to the wise. Once we had all the steel in and tied, we elevated the steel with these rebar chairs so that it will be in the top third of the slab and it will give it more strength that way. If it was tied against the plastic, it actually wouldn't do that much. In many cases, we use fiber reinforced concrete instead of steel, but in this case, since we're going to do acid staining as the finished floor, we don't want those fibers in the concrete. They may make the acid staining look bad.
Scratch my paddle. Got stars and stripes and paddleboards and rebar. Look at the back, it looks like it's a garbage dump.
Here's a quick look at this vapor barrier already working. You can see it trapping the moisture underneath the gravel. And also, one step you need to do that's not in this video is a termite treatment. I try not to be around for that stuff.
It'd be great if we had a shovel, except for my 11-year-old took it out of my truck last night to make a bike trail and didn't put it back.
You know what they say? This is one way to do it.
All right, guys, I'm back in the office and I want to talk about some other things that I've been working hard on right along the same timeline to make sure that the rest of the house proceeds as planned with no snags. One of those things is ordering the windows. I always order the windows during the foundation phase of the house because they'll take 3 to 4 weeks, if we're lucky, to get them once they're ordered. So we looked at 2 lines of windows. We've got Anderson windows, which are the Fibrex series. It's actually like extruded Trex decking, I think. And they're black. So that's what we really wanted because it's a modern look. You got the black frames on the windows. They came out to $8,400 plus tax, which was a little more than our other quote from Geldwin. And these Geldwin windows are just vinyl. You can get them in white, gray, or tan. We really wanted the black, but the Geldwin were less expensive. They came in at $6,300. So that's a pretty big price difference, but the homeowner did decide to go with the Anderson windows, the black Fibrex 100 series, and we've used these on a lot of houses and actually like them. So I'm glad we're doing that. Some tips if you're gonna order windows for yourself. Do not forget about windows that need tempered glass or windows that need to be egress windows in bedrooms. Tempered glass is required 2 feet to the side of any doors. Also in wet areas, also if the window is below 18 inches off of the floor, just a few of the places. And egress windows. Your bedroom, if it doesn't have a door to the outside, has to have an egress window as a way for you to get out or a way for a firefighter to get in. Around here it's 5 square feet minimum opening on a ground level floor, 5.7 square feet on an upper level, and that's the code. So I'm going to flash up a picture of the house and label just on one side of the house we're showing here which ones are egress and which ones are tempered. It's such a huge thing. I've made the mistake tons of times of not getting the tempered or egress windows where they need to be the first time and having to swap windows out later. You don't want to have to do that. Okay, the second thing I want to mention that I've been doing in the background here, and if you're building your own project, you also need to think ahead on this, is ordering the trusses. This house, like I mentioned earlier in the video, has free span trusses that go wall to wall. There's no load-bearing points out in the middle, which is great. It gives you a place to run your pipes, your HVAC, and also you don't have to have load-bearing walls in the middle of your house. So that's also great, but getting in line at a truss plant in a busy time in the economy can be trouble. I would allow at least 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even more, to get in line to get your trusses manufactured. And sometimes you have to get them engineered and there's a little lag time in that as well. So I just got off the phone with our truss man and we are getting our floor trusses for the second floor next Wednesday. And then next Friday, we will get the roof trusses so that once we start framing, it goes from framing to dry very quickly. You don't have lumber sitting out in the rain and getting potentially ruined. All right, and I do want to mention that in our next video after we have the slab poured, which should be episode 5, I'm going to do a little cost breakdown of what we've spent so far on materials for this 1,000 square foot house for the foundation of it. And that should give you a great idea if you're looking to do something similar, what you would expect to spend on materials if you're, say, in the Southeast United States. It may be wildly different in other areas, but I think it'll be fun to do, so I'm going to do it. And with the rain and weather, that wraps up another week. We did go out for a little treat on Friday afternoon. We'll show you that. Let's roll it. What time is it, guys?
It's beer 30. There ain't no such thing as beer 30. Old school, dude.
Oh man, that thing is...
Out of their half pipe and shove his face.
And the guys that run the shop down here are awesome. Without us even asking, they had already looked into getting a one-handed braking system for Jamie's mountain bike so he could ride his bike with his kids.
Yeah,
but the leverage isn't going to be what it should be.
What's that? My dad gave me a bike. that I use. Anyway, I go down the road and it goes wop, 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 wop. I said, Dad, what's the deal? And he said, oh yeah, that tire's real bad.
Thanks for watching our video today. Make sure to stay tuned for the rest of our series. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell so you'll get our future videos about construction stuff.